Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be showing you my whole lighter collection of 300 plus lighters. First I'll do just an overview of all the lighters, and then I will get to all of my favorites. I sadly cannot get to every single lighter in this video. If I had the time, I definitely would. Let's start with all the lighters I have yet to restore. So both of these boxes have a bunch of lighters I have yet to restore. This box over here, mostly butanes, I won't be able to restore them. This top box is full of butanes that will hold butane but can't or won't produce a flame, mainly because the sparking mechanisms on all of these are going out or have went out at this point. Now luckily you can order more of the sparking mechanisms on Amazon, but it's just really difficult and honestly not worth it to replace these. And like I said, these down here do not hold any butane, so they cannot be fixed. Okay, moving on to the non-butane lighters. Most of these are Ronsons, flat ads, and there's a couple special ones, a couple Evans, and a Scripto or two in there. And there's a couple Zippos, of course. Most of these just need the flint tube cleared out, or the clutch spring driving the flint wheel has stopped working for some reason, usually just because it's gotten old and wore out over time. Here are some of the table lighters I have yet to restore. Now let's move on to the actual lighter collection. I'm going to kind of do an overview of all the lighters first, then go through some of my favorites from this year. This one here I do have to show before I put it away for storage. And here's my one of one curated flame Flippo. I will not be taking this out of the package to light it. And there's some put off to the side, deflinted for storage, like this Edison ticker. There are a couple more down there ready for storage, but I will not be reflinting and fueling these. Over here we have a bunch of pocket lighters, some Zippos and Flippos, a couple of my pocket butane lighters, some table lighters, and more Flippos and Zippos, of course, my butane lighters, my cigarette lighter collection, more butane lighters, and butane lighters in their packaging and boxing. Even more Flippos and Zippos, a couple permanent matches, some Betty Jets down in the middle, and there's a couple other lighters like Scriptos in there. And of course we've got the lighters that I need to restore over here. Okay, now let's move on to some of my favorite lighters from this year. Starting with the Crown Harp, Japan-made lighter with a gorgeous flame. It might not be in the best condition, but it's still one of my favorites. Here is a Crown Pipe Master, pretty much like a Squeeze-A-Lite, just under a different brand name. Here we have two Scripto lighters, the first featuring a fish hook, and the second featuring dice. The second one being my favorite of the two Scriptos. I did fuel this one up. I did end up redoing the hinge part. I did not do the best job, it was one of my first Scripto jobs, but I think it still turned out pretty good. Now on to the rack of Flippos and Zippos. This first one is a Commander Nimrod. I didn't get the chance to fill it up, but it's still a pretty cool piece. Here's one of my recent $20 gumball wins from Curated Flame. Here is a Bowers flip top. These were very well built. Might not look the best, but it's still built to last. That's about it from this section. Now in this next clip, you gotta let me know which one you think sounds the best out of all of these Flippos and Zippos. The Storm King, the 2008 limited edition, the 2007 limited edition, the can't remember what year Zippo, I'll just call it the matte black Zippo, the chrome Zippo, or the Ronson Win 2. Let me know which one you would pick. Moving on to one of my favorite Zippo designs, at least in my collection, the Mystical Frog. I have yet to touch this Zippo with my own hands. It is in mint condition, and it's more for display, if anything, but I'm going to put it away for storage for now until I make or buy a display case for it. Now here's a lighter with some filigree on it, made in the US. I'm not sure if it has any relation to Storm King or not, but the design looks pretty dang similar to a Storm King. For example, here's a Storm King right next to this filigree Flippo. As you can see, they look very similar. I definitely would not be surprised if they had any relation. Here's the French type atomizer windproof lighter. I love the shape and of course the squeeze to light, but the flame is just not for me. Here's a bit of a warning for the next clip. It is a plasma lighter, so I would turn down your volume because it is a bit screechy. Definitely not a pocket carry because of the sound it makes. This is definitely one of my favorite plasma lighters, but it's really not suitable for public. Here is the Evans wallet lighter, or cigarette holder / lighter. I have not refilled this in a couple months, but it still has fuel because of the big fuel tank on it. Here's an Elgin American wallet lighter with a auto light feature, which just means it will automatically light by closing the clip inside of it or closing the case itself. Here's one of my most expensive pieces. It's a 1950s Betty Jet lighter, lightly used, restored by me with its original box, papers, lighter cover, tool, and of course the replacement flint and fiberglass jet replacement. Over here, of course, you know, we have most of the pocket lighters. I won't go through most of these just because they're regular old pocket lighters, and if you're a collector, you've seen most of them. But I will go through some of my favorites, like this one here, the Blue Diamond. I love the design on it, and it is really clean and crisp. And we have another Elgin American down here. I love this lighter just because of the way it refills. Here we have a Bermuda flat ad lighter made by Lady. I don't have many lift arm lighters in my collection, but here's one of my favorites. The Golden Wheel lift arm lighter. Here in this box is one of the world's smallest lighters. Kinda made it into an emergency lighter kit. The next lighter coming up is an aluminum block flip top lighter, but a unique flip top at that. There we go. Here's an Iowa aluminum block lighter. Here's a in-box, mint condition Newport lighter made by Continental. I have yet to see if it needs restored, because I just do not want to damage the original paper on it. Here's one of my favorite mini lighters. Did not fuel it up though. Here's a near mint condition Seaberry flathead lighter. Here's one I bought off of Amazon, and honestly the build quality is pretty dang good. Definitely on the chunkier side of lighters, but let's fill her up and see how she lights. Next we have a mint condition oil lighter. I also got this off of Amazon. Next up we have a D-Well trench lighter. It should be filled up already, but if not, I'll go ahead and fill it up. Music box lighters. A brand new Scotty lighter. Here we have my favorite permanent match in the collection. It's one of my pocket carries. Most of the lighters in this wooden box I do carry around once in a while. This one right here has one of the biggest adjustable flames in my collection. Here's another one I love to use as a pocket carry, just because of the easy adjust flame. And the flame is never too big, so it's perfect. And here's the Prometheus with one of the weirdest jet flames. Then we have this little lighthouse right here. I mainly like it as a pocket carry just because of the little light function it has on it. Not very practical, but I just love the little light function. Here's another lighter with a special torch shape. Here is my favorite pocket carry torch, made by Honest. Okay, we are done with all those pocket lighters. And yes, I know I didn't get to all of them. I will be going through them for storage, so I will have a video posted for that, but that'll be later next month. Anyway, onto the table lighters. This table lighter here is like a replica of a dueling pistol. Definitely one of my favorite table lighters. And the case it comes in is just gorgeous. I love this case. I just need to make a stand for it now. Here we have a green glass table lighter, and I'm pretty sure it's Viking glass. Here we have a green Evans flower table lighter and ashtray set. So there's 4 ashtrays it came with, and I do have all original 4. Here we have a Made in Occupied Japan pistol table lighter. Here we have a 1917 car lighter with a stash container. Definitely one of my favorite table lighters just because of that stash container. Here we have an unbranded double flint wheel table lighter or trench lighter. Here's a acrylic steamship lighter. And we have a couple pocket lighters back here, but they're not really worth talking about, so we'll leave them be. Now on to the boxed up butanes. This first butane is a special color changing butane because it could change 3 different colors. I do have to fill it up first. As you can see, the first color is orange, the second color is red, and the third color is green. The green flame is definitely my favorite flame out of all 3. For most of these butanes and boxed up butanes, I will be taking all the fuel out of it, just so it's easier for me to go through and store them. Next up, we have a turbo blue lighter, and this one is very special. Let's fill her up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this lighter has both a torch flame and a soft flame. So it has the dual flames, and that is just great for all purposes. And of course the torch has got that green flame to it, so definitely one of my favorites. This lighter kind of reminds me of like a spaceship or something. Here's one of my favorite keychain lighters, the heart. It's got both a torch and a coil. Here's a lighter I won at a fair a couple years back. Here's a little pip lighter combination. Here's one of my most unique pocket torches. Now, it might not be one of my favorite lighters, but I did have to show it in this video. The toilet lighter. Here's another coil lighter, but with a dragon design on it. Now on to the non-boxed up butanes. And there are a lot to go through, so we're just gonna kind of do a speed round. The first one is the poker chip. Here is a dice one to go along with the poker chip, and it does light up along with the dice spinning. Here we have a lighter with 2 flames. I didn't get the lights working on it, sadly. And I do have another one with the same feature, the pig. Back here we have a pistol lighter made by Swordfish. Can't see the flame very well. It does have a laser sight. Over here is another Novelty butane pistol lighter with the triple jet. This crocodile lighter doesn't work the best, but it is still worth being in my collection. It still holds butane, and it's just the sparking mechanism starting to go out, not wanting to ignite the flame. Here we have a Shaver Novelty butane lighter. Then we got the Flip Flop Novelty butane lighter. Here we have another dual flame lighter. Here we have an older butane table lighter, made to look like a grenade. Here we have one of my favorite butane table lighters. I found the guitar lighter first, and then I found the case later, and I found them both in the curated flame shop. Here's one of the slimmest but craziest butane lighters I have. It has a crazy big flame. That's about it for the butanes, other than this sport car collection. I already showed these butanes in the beginning, but I will not be lighting any of them. And here's another look at my cigarette lighter collection. I will not be lighting any of these either. Here's another look at all 300 plus lighters in my collection. And here are some of the lighters from the Christmas collection. Had to show these. And these weren't counted towards the 300 plus lighter collection, because technically these weren't in my collection yet, because I still had to do videos on them. Anyway, if you've made it this far, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this. If there are some lighters I didn't get to in this video that you would have liked to see, I will be making a video on me going through and storing all these lighters, so stay tuned for that.